leaned on a book that was halfway off the table, so I leaned on it to fill that. Put my nose for monster up.
Hey, are you still talking through your headset mic?
I am for a 30 seconds.
Gavin, you can go ahead and do the recap whenever you're ready, man.
Oh, I'm still doing it. Okay.
Let's go!
So, there were these witches that needed to be moved, but they were being harassed by Swamp Thing, as well as fucking Ghost Rider. Not literally Swamp Thing and Ghost Rider, but this big swamp monster. It causes fungus and mold and shit. I got a disease from this thing, by the way, because I decided to go track it at night and throw a power cable into the lake. It got pissed off, didn't like that. Gave me diseases and mold. So they're going after him and stuff. And I got with a combined effort between myself and Karen, we got a cop killed because he got murdered while he was shitting bricks in the woods. So that was a group effort. So A+, Karen. But as of now, I'm barred from a comic book shop because I guess they don't like me. I can't imagine why. And I think Tony and Sean and Karen, you guys can collaborate and finish up the rest of this.
Dude, you didn't even say a single thing from last episode.
In my defense, it's been a month.
Yeah. Solid.
So we went to a church where we heard that that possibly might be a good lead on where the Ghost Rider guy was. We went there and found this basically old, abandoned, beat-up church where there is a pastor that just came to town that's actually trying to put it together. I don't have my notebook in front of me, so I can't pull up his name.
He's staying in my room right now.
Anyway, we also went in there. We did some investigating. We found where basically it looked like some being, entity, whatever, walked into the middle of the church and set himself ablaze. And we can also see where there had been squatters that probably got scared and ran off. Up at the top of the church, there's we saw where there was a big, large bell, but we couldn't really get to ring it without making our way up to the stairs that had some locked keys. Ace was able to find the keys that were hidden basically underneath a floorboard behind and underneath the staircase.
Yep.
And it looked like there had been someone with some very ashy hands that had been in that little area before. So we made our way up to the top of the stairs, opened up the door since we had the keys, and were able to basically repair it enough to ring the bell. Ace was able to basically talk to some of his staff again for reasons, and was able to walk on air until he tried to walk on air outside of the church and then kaput, followed and plummeted. But while we're up at the top of the bell tower area, we did see where there was a large pyre off in the distance. Not too terribly far, but basically a couple 100 yards. So we decided to make our way over there to investigate. Once we got over there, we got kind of close and we were looking in on things, and as we were talking and figuring out what to do about it, we had collected a few things like a fire extinguisher and whatnot. We were about to possibly put out the fire when a voice came out from the pyre itself and said some cool one-liner thing the bad guys say. I don't remember what exactly it was. As we were talking amongst ourselves, trying to remember, or trying to figure out what to do next. And that's where we're at.
Just to touch up a couple things. Father Vaski, V-A-S-K-I. And when you fell off the bell tower, as you walked off the tower, Dex caught you, and then he immediately crumpled over, spewing out this green slime and basically swamp bile from his mouth. And y'all were able to use magic to rid him of the disease. You imbued your dagger with magical powers and basically dug out a root that was growing inside of him, causing his wound to fester and fun. And
that we put in a urine jar that we washed out with holy water.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Also,
and when you
side note, Kamikawa, Dex lost his ability to teleport.
Yep. Gabriel has barred him from teleporting until...
Took my wings.
He didn't take your wings. You just made it where you can't teleport.
Wings.
he said they will you can earn them back. Yeah, metaphorical wings. But, and when y'all got to the pyre, you found 3 bodies. One of them that is on its knees, looking up with like fear stricken in its face, it burnt to a crisp. It's just like petrified almost. And then there's 2 other bodies that's crippled on the floor in the like fetal positions, and they're burnt. They're in like almost like a triangle pattern around this giant pyre that's currently just a rolling flame. And Karen had a vision of what had happened, of this humanoid figure, a walking fire, walked out, killed the witches, went to go attack the third. The third did a magic spell, knocked him back, and he turned around and grabbed Karen by the throat. And then she now has a hand burn mark on her throat. And as she was choking, Ace thought there might be an invisible force there, so he hit her with the fire extinguisher, with the powder, not the actual fire extinguisher. And then Dex did the same thing, and then tried to do the Heimlich maneuver, shoved Karen into Ace, and then when he shoved Karen into Ace, he saw the flaming humanoid figure walk out of the pyre, and he said, "You rang." And he is standing opposite of Dex with Ace and Karen between them. And that is where we will start. As Ace is holding Karen, Dex, you are standing away from him with a fire extinguisher in your hand, and this flaming figure just walked out of the pyre.
Okay.
And this is a perfect time for me to get hiccups.
Dude, I was just thinking that, man. Yeah, so... Hello. I wave. You're not a demon, are you?
He just stares. What could be considered staring. He has no facial features. It just looks like there is a silhouette of a male, like a man, in this, like, that's on fire. And his head is just looking in y'all's direction.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Karen, why don't you talk to him? You're better with words. Excuse me, gentle, fire, brave man. I wish for you to speak to our human leader. Her name is Karen of the non-flaming. If you could please converse with Her Highness, then we would surely be grateful. Karen, this is when it's time for you to start talking, Karen.
The figure
Right.
starts stepping forward.
I, Karen, step forward to it. Just one, maybe 1.5 steps. Not like an advancement of like authority or anything. Just like
Sorry.
speak.
Clarification. Did we ever put on our flame retardant gear?
Yes, Karen does have the gloves and the apron.
I start immediately suiting up
No,
at this question.
Karen already has the gloves and the apron, and Dex has just an apron. And Ace has...
And the aprons say kiss the cook.
Well, no, they're
Stop it.
leather aprons for heat resistance.
I would like to imagine there are zippers and spikes on this leather apron.
Nope, just
You may
3
pretend.
strings. It's an apron.
It's just
Okay,
a lead
so it
apron
is
for X-ray.
likely not purchased at the local
No.
Y'all got it
Starship.
from Ace Hardware, and they are literally welders' aprons. They're
Yeah.
flame retardant.
Maybe even like X-ray aprons. They're just heavy and
Yeah, it's
Don't
really
grow.
thick leather, so it's not just gonna like catch on fire
No.
real quick.
it's nothing fancy.
Maybe a little Kevlar lining. I don't know.
Dark blue on one side, light blue on the other.
I'm just gonna do a little experiment here. So I'm gonna pull up my flaming sword and say,
Don't-
Mr. Fireman,
Don't.
have How does this fire make you feel? Fire good or fire bad?
It looks over at you. Ah, a wielder of the heavenly flames.
So is that a fire bad?
This figure, as it walks closer to y'all notice it is probably about 10 feet tall. And at a distance from y'all to the pyre, as it walks closer, the heat is immense coming off of this thing. But at the same time, it's like, it's not heat when it gets close to you. It's not heat that you feel on your skin. It's heat that, like, you feel warm on the inside. For a couple of you, it's a very familiar feeling. And he actually walks past Karen and Ace and walks up to Dex. And he says, "Together, we can purge this world with the heavenly flames."
So,
Wait, is this guy... Okay, my specialty is the occult, right? Well, not really the occult, the supernatural, the demons, gods, goddesses, the divine, demigods, things like that. Is this guy am I getting more of a devilish or a heavenly vibe off of this guy?
So with you asking that question, Ace, what were you gonna say?
just clarification what this guy looked like. I mean, I knew we were looking for a guy, but that's just like a skull with a flaming skull, but like...
Yeah, they said it was a skeleton that was on fire. That's what the witches said.
Right. Is that what this guy is, or...?
He looks pretty close. It doesn't look like there's a skeleton inside, but a black silhouette of a man.
So basically, we're just seeing a walking fire.
Correct. But it's like, it's, imagine, what's that guy? The Human Torch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Flame on. Gavin, do you have a move from the divine or from the spooky or whatever that's like something to... I need you to roll investigate a mystery.
Okay, that's sharp, right?
Yeah, and you do have the spooky or something, right? The haunted, the spooky, something like
I
that.
have hex from the spooky, which all that does is give me some additional use magic options.
No, I thought you had some like old black magic or something like that.
Oh, I do have that old black magic. So, yeah, that old black magic lets me ask one question from Investigator Mystery as a weird roll instead of the other roll.
So, for your question, what sort of creature is it? That's under Investigator Mystery. You can roll sharp, or you can roll that for the one question.
Weird. I'm definitely going to go with weird.
Okay. So, Ace,
once fancy ground stops lagging.
You had a question too, Ace?
No, that was pretty much it. It was just, what exactly were we looking at here?
Yeah, it's basically the Human Torch.
Oh, we got disconnected from the
Swamping 1%.
fancy grounds.
No.
Yeah, I got blue spinny circle for whatever reason. I gotta try to diagnose why this is happening with Fantasy Grounds with me by Monday.
I mean, if y'all want to, y'all can just roll physical dice. You can use D&D Beyond, whatever you want.
I'll roll physical dice, and I promise I won't lie.
I mean, dude, it's Monster of the Week. It's not that serious.
We can do that. We can play your dice.
It gives y'all an excuse to actually use your physical dice.
So I got an 8. I rolled a 3 and a 2 plus my 3. That gives me an 8.
That gives you one question. I would say that's a success.
Okay.
Because yeah.
So what kind of creature is it? Yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
So an 8 it works imperfectly. Now because that old black magic, it's like you use magic to like, it says, it's kind of weird the way it's worded. It says when you use magic, you can ask a question from Investigate a Mystery.
Imagine it's kind of like reaching out with your senses to get the answer.
Yeah, so instead of like going to investigate a mystery, you just pick that question, but the quirks can be from use magic. So it works imperfectly. Choose your effect with a glitch, the keeper will decide. So I'm just going to say you're only going to get partial information. And I will say this creature, the flames rolling off of it, the warm and like the inner warming sensation you feel, are very familiar. Two things that are incredibly familiar, seeing as the sword that you are holding in your hands right now is rolling the same feeling.
So it's the same kind of fire?
It's the same kind of fire.
I'm just gonna ask him, are you an angel?
No.
Then
I am
how-
heavenly fire. I have come to purge the land.
You are heavenly fire incarnate.
He looks back at the pyre. No.
So tell us exactly what you are. I don't wish to make enemies of you if there's no need.
What? You confuse me, mortal.
I am not mortal.
And I am not incarnate. I am heavenly fire. I have
Yes,
come
I understand
to purge this land, and if you are not witches or evildoers, I have no coy with you.
And what if these witches commit no acts of atrocities, commit no harm among other mortals? You still wish to purge them?
Lies. Do you protect the witches?
I protect the innocent. And if the witches are innocent, then I protect them too.
They make sacrifices. But no more. They shall not desecrate these holy grounds. No more.
I do not wish to make enemies of another denizen of heaven. Tell me, what acts of atrocities have these witches committed? If you can honestly tell me that they've harmed innocents, then I will believe you and I will take up arms against them in the same way that you do. But I do not believe that is the case.
He points behind him to the pyre. And then he motions to the graveyard. These are two different burial rites. One is for sacrificial offerings, and he motions back to the pyre. The other are those who died more naturally.
You're telling me these witches sacrifice innocents? They harm and take innocent lives?
He nods.
Inside check.
Yeah, I would like to make some kind of check to make sure that he's being honest about this. Because if
Yeah.
that's the case, I'm not helping these witches anymore.
Let's just try and do a manipulate somebody. You think that's pretty good? Or read a bad situation. I don't know which one you'll think would be better.
Let me.
Situation.
You know what? I
Situation
think
is
read a
best.
bad situation. There's one question in there that I would like to ask if I roll well enough.
Okay.
So, by the way, Fantasy Grounds is working again. So I'm gonna make my roll in Fantasy Grounds. Read a bad situation. That is sharp, correct? Or
Yes.
Yeah, it's sharp.
okay.
And Ace, you said you were also going to read a bad situation?
So I got another
Yeah.
8.
Okay.
I don't know if that's just I have to assist him or we make individual rolls.
You can make an individual roll if you want.
I know exactly what question I want to ask from it.
Let's see, that is a 7 plus
Yeah.
3 for sharp, so that's a 10 total for me.
Nice.
Okay.
What's the best way to protect the victims? That's the question I'm going to ask, specifically pertaining as to whether I'm wondering whether I will save more lives helping this entity
Okay, so
or
this
going
is-
against him.
This question is a little too vague. I'm gonna need you to expand upon it.
So essentially, when I ask what's the best way to protect the victims,
Expound.
which course of action saves more lives? Going
Um,
with this entity Like
Victims.
cooperating with this entity or fighting this entity?
By victims, do you mean the witches, or who do you mean? Who are you referring
I mean innocent people.
Innocent people.
People that have committed no harm against others.
You would say, fuck, man. It's like it's 6 eggs in one hand, half a dozen in the other, man. You're either gonna help one group or save another.
So this is like one of those Mass Effect
that
choices.
Witches sacrifice people. It's like in their thing. Sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. Depends on the coven.
Well,
But at the
sometimes
same
they
time-
sacrifice humans, sometimes they sacrifice goats. You know, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, but people's done it for thousands of years. It's just who you decide the victim is.
if it was goats, Dex would be okay with it. If it's humans, hell
Yeah.
fucking no.
Just gonna say you're all about them holy people. It's not like people in the Holy Lands have never
I mean,
sacrificed some people.
It's like the crusade never happened. I mean, there was like 7 crusades. So who's the real victims? See how it can get real broad when you say victims?
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start taking steps towards this entity, and
Yeah,
I'm just
you
gonna
can
talk
do
to
that.
him. Okay.
Um,
I'm just gonna talk to him and say,
Real
if
quick.
cooperating with you is the greatest path to saving the most amount of lives, I will do so long as I have the support of my compatriots. These are my friends. I will not go against them, and I will not abandon them under any circumstance.
Ace, what are your 2 holds? You're reading a bad situation, right?
Yep.
All right, 3 holds because you got a 10.
Let's see. Are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
Ooh. So, it has just dawned upon you, Ace. Since you've been up here, since you've been in this town, it is like very lively. And I mean, not just in the sense of humans. Even while you were by the lake, there were still birds chirping, cicadas. Up here, there's nothing. There's you don't hear any insects in the distance. You don't hear any birds. But when you look into the tree line behind the pyre, you definitely see crows.
Would I know what that means?
Yeah, the comic book that you have on your hand,
Mm-hmm.
the label, like the production company who makes it, there is a figure of a crow. And the title is Alexandria's Coven.
So we're being watched by the witches.
It would seem so. And it has just dawned on you, this fact.
Okay. So if we side with this guy, we're
They're
gonna
gonna
make
know.
a whole lot of enemies real fast. Well, that's the only question I really wanted. I just want to mosey on up next to.
What, you got 2 more.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
No.
Okay.
No. No.
I'm just gonna mosey on up next to Dex and just say, how mad would heaven be if we quelched a being of holy fire?
Holy fire cannot be expunged. Holy fire is forever. I am from God's very forge.
I'm not going to lie to you, Ace. I'm not sure I want to. I'm gonna say this in a low whisper. If these witches are sacrificing innocent humans, how can we justify helping them? Can you really let that weigh on your conscience? That you helped rescue a group that has murdered innocents and has no intention of discontinuing it?
Dex, have you
And
read
I'm
the
saying this
Bible?
in a low whisper.
Just throwing that out there. So,
But these are people who have done no wrong that are being killed.
sure. But again,
Dex,
we're talking.
Dex, what was the? I apologize. What
No,
was
go.
the question that you asked the the Human Torch?
The Human Torch. Let me look at the questions again so I can read it exactly. It is, what's the
What you
best way to
said.
protect the victims?
No, what was it that you said to him? You said something about like you were just stating like these are my friends, right? You didn't actually.
Oh
ask
yeah,
him
I
a
told
question.
him that. No, I told him
You made
I
a
don't wish
statement,
to
not a
oppose. I
question.
told him I don't wish to oppose you, but these are my friends, and if they do not wish to join you, I will not abandon them.
Okay. All right. Yeah, he doesn't respond to that.
So, just gonna throw it out there. Witches in the past may have, just like people from heaven in the past may have killed people. I don't know about currently. I know he's currently attacking people. If they are currently attacking people as well, then that can be dealt with. I'm saying it's not maybe not even a good guy and a bad guy situation. It's two different groups of bad guys.
Heavenly entity, what is your name?
I have no name. I am Holy Fire from the flames of heaven. And
What
Karen,
was
at this
the
time,
year? Oh, sorry. I'll let you go on with your question.
Karen, at this time, you hear a loud crunching noise in your ear, and then you hear somebody just chewing like an apple right beside you as you just look over and you see Zed, and he's just like looking over and he's like, well, this is fucked.
Zed, do you know anything about this entity?
He like drops his basket of apples. No.
Sure about that,
Zed?
buddy?
He takes a sidestep behind Karen.
Nah.
The entity looks down at you. You are an angel from heaven, are you not?
Saying that to me?
Yeah.
I am.
So then we are both here for the same mission.
Just say dear old dad and I aren't on exactly the best terms. Tell me, entity, what was the year, the last year that these witches killed someone, sacrificed someone who was of righteous heart?
Long has the age of time faded away the memories. I was once a man of God, but sacrificed for their heathen activities.
So it has not been recent that one of these witches has slayed an innocent. Has it been in the last century, the last decade, the last year?
The last sacrifice was days ago. I prevented it. And then
Of a human of righteous heart.
He points over to the pyre.
Can we I'm sorry, Holy Fire, man. Can we do a quick like huddle between the three of us here? Just a quick powwow.
Four.
His head does not turn towards Ace, but he continues looking down at Dex, and he says, I take it that this witch here is under your servitude?
This is not a witch, this is my friend.
He uses the dark magic.
He is not a witch, he is my friend. And anyone who is enemy of him is an enemy of myself.
You rang the bell of Saint Angel. What do you command?
He's asking me for a command?
That's what he said.
We're really gonna need that huddle that my friend was talking about, that powwow. I'll get back to you on that. Just a couple of minutes, okay? Just a minute or two.
He turns around and walks back into the pyre.
So, Karen, Dex, just gonna throw it out here. We were assigned a mission to protect the witches.
I know that, but if it was a mere days ago that they sacrificed an innocent person, how can we protect them?
See, I don't think that's actually what happened, but as far as things that happened forever and a day ago, I don't know if you recall, or actually if you saw, but I happened to catch a glimpse that I'm pretty sure the girl that runs the comic book store is quite a bit of a geriatric.
Karen saw that.
Or I thought I saw it too.
Karen saw it.
Oh, well,
When she looked in the window, and
Yeah.
she saw her reflection in the window as y'all were walking out.
yeah, I thought that we both saw it. Alright, well, anyhow. But I have a feeling that she's been around since whenever these other sacrifices happened. Maybe they have an explanation, maybe they don't. But I do know that this guy is walking around being all flamey and whatnot, and if he was willing to basically group me in with it, he's not attacking people that he knows are guilty.
Truth.
I know.
Now, what's the deal with the you ring the bell, you can command him? Because if that's the case, that's a super easy thing to settle in itself. We can just tell him to, command him to go fight the swamp monster and call it a day.
I'm having a hard time realizing the truth of the situation, and I want to make sure that justice is served.
Well, I'm just saying, if we want to deal with that, that's fine, but we got a whole swamp monster thing, and we have a flame monster at our command. This could solve itself. Battle the kaiju.
That is true.
Send them off to go fight each other.
And then, even if he turns out to be an adversary or an ally, either way, it works out better for us.
I do know that the swamp thing is an evil thing because it attacked us and it murdered a cop. So if he needs to go kill something that's harming innocents, there you go.
Heavenly fire! I'm gonna call out towards the pyre.
It walks back out. Sorry.
Yeah, can we do non-gender roles here? He might be
Yeah.
non-binary.
They,
We don't
them.
know.
They,
We don't know what he
okay?
falls under.
They, them.
He doesn't even have a gender. He's a ball of fucking fire.
It's
Okay?
it.
The being that
You know,
attacked me
it.
and that killed the police officer by the lake, the one who infected me with the mold.
I know no such knowledge. I only know the knowledge of what happens on the grounds of the Church of St. Andrew.
Psst, tell him the witches summoned it.
The witches summoned
Oh,
this
God.
being.
And it is vile and corrupt. It is evil of the utmost.
It is a being that appears to be of pure plant life. It is covered in head to toe in moss. It spreads its corruption and it spreads its mold and its disease across any being that it comes in contact with. I wish for you to hunt this creature and slay
leave
it.
the grounds of St. Andrew. But if you bring the monster here, I will help. I protect the grounds.
Wait, it can't leave the grounds of the church?
Swamp. Church. Swamp.
You can't leave these holy grounds?
Cannot leave the grounds of the Church of St.
Then
Andrew.
how are you expecting to go after the witches if you can't leave these grounds?
Because they were foolish enough to build their sacrilege pyre on the grounds of St. Andrew.
Okay.
So what you're telling me is
Hang
if
on,
they
hang
don't
on,
come
hang
here,
on.
you can't hunt.
Well, you continue this. This is time for me to get detective-y.
Okay, yeah, I will let you do your detective stuff. I'm welcoming that.
If this is a whole sacrificial ground and I am familiar with the arcane, I would like to investigate a mystery.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
That is gonna be sharp again.
My mind is already racing, trying to figure out every question that you could possibly ask me.
Well, it wasn't much. It was just a 9, so that's a whole, well...
I mean, it's still a 1. You still have 2 more holds for read a bad situation if you want to ask those 2.
Okay. Well, if we want to do the holds for the bad situation and then follow up with the investigative mystery, if I really want to abuse this.
What was your first roll for read a bad situation?
It was a 10.
A 10? And what question did you ask?
Are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
Okay. So go ahead and ask your investigative mystery.
So, for investigative mystery, what is being concealed here? Specifically, they've got to be doing sacrifices for a reason. And between me looking at some of the runes that we did in the comic book story and my general knowledge with the arcane, why would they be doing sacrifices? Like, can I tell this from whatever remnants of ritual stuff is here by this pyre?
So, a thought comes to your mind. You have walked the grounds, and you have also seen from the bell tower the grounds. You find a little patch of dirt, and you kind of just start mapping out this place. Where, in this entire graveyard, there is one crypt in the very dead center. But the paths and the roads that loop around the graveyard make a pentagram. And this is at the northern point. This pyre is at the northern point of the pentagram. So it's like all the roads that go in between to connect the sections where the gravestones are, all the roads are designed to make the symbol of a pentagram, and at the very top of the pentagram, that's where this pyre is.
How large? When you say all the roads, like,
this has thousands of headstones in it. This is a very large graveyard.
I mean, that's a wide sacrificial area. But any way I can deduce what the goal is for the sacrifices? Like what they're trying to make happen?
You definitely know that pentagrams are used for satanic rituals.
Sure. I just also, like, I get where you're going with it, but I didn't know if, like, this is the ritual, this is the design to make a lich, or whatever, like, the end game might be.
It could literally mean anything. They could be making sacrifices for Satan. They could be making sacrifices to gain powers from demonic beings. I mean, it's pretty vague. They could literally use a pentagram and sacrificial altars for whatever purposes they wanted at the time. It doesn't necessarily mean one specific thing, but you know that sacrifice, and normally a blood sacrifice, is the key to make these things work. It's the only time they built pyres. You would know that covens and stuff like that, the only time they build pyres and burn bodies is one of their own dies. Other than that, normally sacrifices are made. So this was probably a mistake that they did, where they decided to light a pyre on holy grounds rather than do their normal sacrilegious stuff.
Alright, so here's the thing, guys. Looking like a big satanic ritual has been going on here for quite some time. Lots of sacrifices, obtaining devilish powers.
So that was just a hold one, right? Like you.
Yeah, that was my investigative history.
Because you get a +1 moving forward. Oh, while using the information relevant. Okay, never mind. My bad. So while you use information to keep up tabs on the crows, then you get a +1 forward. From read a bad situation.
Yeah.
But anyways, what you were saying. My bad.
Okay. Oh man, just disconnect again.
Disconnect to reconnect.
So
I don't. Okay, you're back, or it's back on.
At this point it's tomato. It's loading, but not.
I would say, following up on that, considering we're surrounded, or on the back line there's crows and whatnot, I'll just ask, what's the best way out if we need a GTFO?
What's the escape plan?
It would either be Zed or Karen's car.
Yeah, I'm just gonna mosey on back over to Karen and Dex, and so I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I've walked the grounds a little bit, and there's actually a satanic pentagram. That's all these sacrifices look like they're actually to that, and I'm pretty sure we've been guided along here by the witches, who are also keeping an eye on us from a distance with the crows to see if we're going to kill this dude or if we're going to get hunted after this if we don't.
They have desecrated the lands of St. Angel. These are holy grounds.
Now, I don't know, Karen, what the protocol is when the people that we were sent out here to come save. You know, it also raises the question, then what's up with the swamp monster thing? Because that was attacking the witches, too. Karen, I'm going to need you to weigh in on this. This is above my pay grade.
Oh. Who's that in? For the peace of the kingdom.
For the king.
Yeah. This holy fire entity is just doing random NPC. Like,
Okay, so we're we're gonna get in the car.
That's efficient, ain't it? Oh.
sorry, what's that, Karen?
We're getting in the car. We're driving away.
Well, I don't think they're just going to let us drive away.
Fellow being of divine power, help me rid these lands. Consecrate these desecrated grounds.
Hey, by the way, does it look like these crows are on St. What's-its-face's land?
No, they are in the tree line, outside.
So I was looking for my signal booster, but it is MIA for some reason, so I'll figure that out later.
And when you take a second glance to look at one of the crows in the tree line, the crow actually caws, and it starts flying over the pyre almost towards y'all. The figure, without batting an eye, spins around and hucks a fireball, and this crow just explodes into a ball of flame. And then he goes back to just staring off towards the church. Almost like he didn't even skip a beat.
Now, what did that crow do to you?
Oh, fuck.
They are the minions of the satanic.
Fuck.
You know, we're gonna have to get back to you on this one. Hey, Karen, how's your car doing? Is it still doing okay?
Three of us divine beings will purify these lands in the name of Saint Angel with holy fire.
You know what? Me and Zadriel, we're gonna hey, Zadriel, come here for a second. Let's talk about
like
things.
halfway back to the car. Huh?
I'm gonna start walking towards him.
And he comes back. Look, Tex, no offense, man, but you pull me into some of the shittiest situations.
I understand, and but however, what are you getting off of this thing?
I think we should just leave him alone and let him just murder satanic people. I mean, that's what Gabriel would do. These are the exact same things that he drops in hell.
I understand that, but there's something we're missing here, Zadriel. There's something that we're not being told. Sure, they may be witches, but
do you know what this is, Dex?
Enlighten me.
This is what Gabriel calls his soul fire. He had one of the forge masters basically forge some of the most righteous human beings that basically gave their life to divinity to help fight against hell, and he helped infuse them with divine powers. This is Soulfire. I will not fight against the heaven. Why it's here, I have no idea. They only get sent to hell to fight demons with Gabriel.
I don't wish to fight him either.
Then don't. Let's
This-
leave.
I feared this would happen one day, that my duties to heaven would find me at odds with my duties as a hunter.
You hear in the background, divine beings, fellow, we will purge these lands.
Yo, I just want to turn my back to Holy Fireman, and I want to take a look at my comic book. See what the next page
Yeah.
is showing.
It's blank. The first time ever you open it and it's blank.
Okay. So, pretty sure we're just going to end up having to go, because there's no way the witches are going to come fight us when we have this thing backing us up. And, I don't think we really want to put down something that Gabriel himself made to fight evil.
Soulfire. If we were to continue this discussion, I need your assurance that the witches are not prying in on our conversation.
Turns to you when you say Soulfire.
Now I know what you are. Can you give me your assurance that their eyes have been purged from this location? They are no longer viewing us, they no longer have the ability to do so at this moment.
Dude, they're watching us right now from the tree line.
He killed the crow.
There's a lot of crows.
There's when Ace points it out to you, Dex, you see hundreds of crows in the tree lines.
Let's see. Mr. Soulfire, I don't suppose you can ride in a car, can you?
Cannot leave the grounds. I protect the grounds. I will
How about we go into the church? How about we step out of the open and walk into the church?
Yo, Dex, I'm
that what
pretty
you
much
command?
gonna say they're gonna be able to figure it out. They're watching us specifically to see if we're gonna kill this thing or not. If we just all of a sudden walk off together with it, they're gonna know which side we picked.
Mr. Soulfire, I have a rather complex command of you. I pull up my flaming sword. Is this capable of hurting you?
He reaches out and he's gonna try and touch the sword.
Oh my
I'm
God,
gonna let him.
Are we gonna do community theater here and pretend to fight this thing?
He reaches out
At this point,
and grabs almost near the hilt of the sword with his hand, and it looks like he pulls the fire off of it, and the fire extinguishes off the sword, and the fire goes into his form.
Great, so here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna stab you with this.
Then a couple seconds later, your sword reignites. I would not recommend that, because then you will prove that you are on the side of the Satan.
No, listen to what I'm saying. In a few seconds, I'm going to stab you with this sword and I'm going to say this in a low voice with no intent to hurt you. After that point, I'm going to run, and you are going to run after me into the church, so the witches do not suspect.
So, you want me to run into the church of St. Andrew?
Following me after it looks like I tried to kill you.
It does not respond. It just stands there.
Is that a command that you can follow?
Man, you're talking cursive to a guy that only writes on print.
This is my command. I am going to attack you. I will not hurt you. You are going to attack back with no intent to hurt me, and follow me when I run until I stop running, and then you will become non-hostile once again. Is that a command you were able to
I'm gonna
follow?
walk up to Zed and be like, we got a car. I think we're probably just gonna go. Are you riding with us? Did you Uber?
Zed immediately turns on heel and starts taking off to the car.
Yeah, let's just do that.
Yeah.
It was Karen and Ace just booking it.
Yeah, we're just going.
My bitch ass is hauling ass.
Okay.
Without doubt,
The entity
drive
does
away.
not acknowledge anything you say. It just stands there. Dex.
So I'm sure this is gonna be a poor act. I'm gonna swing my sword at him and clearly miss, and then just take off running towards the church.
So, as you take off running, you hear behind you, "Oh." And then you look over your shoulder, and it looks like this thing is like, as it threw a fireball at the crow, it also throws one now at you. And this fireball slams into your back, and you get thrown like 20, 30 feet forward. It doesn't hurt, but like anyone looking, this thing just threw a fireball at Ace. I mean, Dex.
You mean Dex?
Yeah, Dex. And Dex, you go head over heel. And this thing, the force is very strong. The flames do not hurt you, but the force itself does hurt you. But you got your protective coat on. Yeah, and you just tumble like 15 yards. And then it starts walking towards you.
I'm just gonna shout out to the rest of the group. Remember what I said? Remember the plan? As I keep running into the church.
Zed jumps in through the back window into the back seat of the car.
Shotgun.
Are you guys just gonna leave me?
To do what?
To speak with the entity away from prying eyes.
So,
It's either we're
Ace.
gonna
What
kill this
reason?
thing.
Dex, you can get up,
or
start
run.
taking you real quick. Like, if y'all want to talk, I'm gonna have to make y'all roll act under pressure. But Dex, you are behind Karen and Ace, and they are running towards the car while you're yelling, "Run to the church." Which one do you do, Dex?
Do I do?
Yep. What do you do? Do you split off and then run to the church? Because they're
I
running.
run to the church.
Okay. Ace and Karen, y'all get to the car. Dex is not behind you.
Is Soul Fireman chasing after us, or is he going into the church?
He is going to the church.
Ah.
And it looks like the flames on him grew twice as large.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's great. It's fine. We're fine. These. Oh, bloody. God damn it, Dex. Let's go save
Zed
Dex.
pokes his head out from behind the window. Where's Dex?
Fuck off, Zed. You're not helpful.
So I remember it was a
Excuse
couple
me?
hundred
Yeah,
yards
quiet, boy.
to get back to the car by the church. Are we still in view line for the crows off in the distance?
I mean, it's a couple hundred yards.
Okay.
Yeah, y'all had to run for a minute.
Well, I mean, I'm just huffing and puffing. Are we supposed to just walk to the church now?
No, we're jogging.
Just yelling,
at least-
run!
Run
To the church!
We're
Run!
running, Smoker. We're running. This is what's happening.
Y'all got such a head start that I think y'all could easily get to the church before this entity does.
I don't think that's weird. You have like 70 seconds. Minute
Let's-
and 10 seconds
Let's go to
Yeah,
the
to
church.
breathe.
The entity is not running. He's just walking. He just has a very long stride because he's real tall.
Tall, slow, or fat, he is.
Very large.
He's just gonna like.
He's rotund.
Alright.
Alright. Yeah, alright, fine. Since apparently our non-teleporting friend has decided to commit to this plan.
I can teleport. Zed says from the back seat holding a random golf club.
Well, that's good to know, though, man. That's pretty cool.
Golf club.
I feel like it's great, but like 7 minutes too late. But
I'm just saying, you know, since Dex can't teleport, at least this guy can.
right.
You know, it's good to know an angel that can teleport. I don't know why we would hang out with an angel that
What do
can't
you mean
even
Dex
teleport.
can't teleport?
Yeah, he's
Zed gets out of the car. This is serious. Why can't he teleport?
apparently angels are allergic to asparagus.
Huh.
Makes it so you can't
didn't know that.
teleport.
This, yeah, it's a bit of a field of stuff.
Then I'm pretty
Anyways.
sure he's got diabetes too.
Karen, I found this golf club in your back seat. I'm gonna use it to fight this thing.
Go to town is what I bring it for. It's
We're-
not because I'm
We're going to the church.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. And then he grabs both of you, and you all three teleport into the very center
Cool.
in front of the altar of the
Mm.
church as you see Dex sprinting through the front door.
Aim for his face. Even if it's breaking his nose. Just to the face.
I'm just gonna, when I run into the church, I'm just gonna turn around with my sword in my hand, stay with clearly with as much bravado as possible, be like, "Stay back, foul fiend!" So I just like stand there with the sword in my hand.
Yeah, and you
Oh,
turn
wait
around,
with
like
you.
you see over your shoulder, and the three of them are just standing there by the altar.
And I just go, "Play along.
What?
We
We're
will
in the-
vanquish you, foul beast."
Die, bastard.
Good one, Karen.
Yeah.
Ace, you have anything to add to this?
Whisper fuck off or something.
What was that?
Whisper something negative towards the guy.
Grrr.
Louder towards the Oh, you're terrible.
Rawr.
Y'all are all standing in the center of this place. You see, the entity is too big to fit through the door, so he actually shrinks down to where he is just big enough, and he
Is
just
it cold
starts
in there?
walking into the church.
I'm just gonna run towards him and just be like, "Ah!" as I slow jog in his direction,
How close are you getting to him?
about 5 feet from him.
Wait, at that. What does it matter if we're in the church? You can't see inside the church.
I'm already committed.
Yeah.
So, you've
Dedication
chosen your
right there.
side, then, false divine, and then he
No,
backhands
no,
you.
no, 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 no.
He reaches back to backhand you, and as he does, he actually grows back to his 10-foot self. And when he hits you, you actually go through one of the windows that Father Vesky was halfway through boarding up, and you go flying out. I need you to take 1 harm.
Okay,
Did you
did I
go
already
flying
have
through the
2
window?
harm? It showed I had 2 harm.
No,
I just don't know
you
if I
had-
forgot to.
You got healed by 1 harm, so you should only have 1 harm now. But you should have a
Okay.
coat or something that protects you. But yeah, he just
Okay.
basically backhands you back out through the window of one of the churches. So, you
By the way, I
evolved
was
decided-
audibly saying as he was in the process of making a mid swing, I was like, "Wait, no, 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 no."
Yeah, and you get backhanded out the church window. So, you've all decided your path. You too wish to desecrate the grounds.
I'm gonna climb on through the window and be like,
Hold
"No,
on.
we're okay."
Karen, Dex, y'all have anything to say?
Well, I'm Ace. But
You
yeah.
mean Ace?
Yeah, Ace, Karen.
Nope.
I'm very anti-desecrating the grounds.
We're just gonna what Karen is doing is simply hesitant, but she does not want to desecrate the grounds, but probably has to. She's not a fan of it, but
Well, what are you saying to this guy?
desecrating the fuck out of it.
You're telling him
If,
that
like-
we're desecrating the fuck out of it?
Yep.
If you could imagine a ball of fire raising one eyebrow, and like his head tilts a little bit. Did you say you're desecrating it or not?
She's spilling a can of Coke on the floor. Go get someone to clean it up.
Is it
Alright,
going
so
anywhere
Dex-
else?
Yeah, right there. It's seeping into the carpet.
He raises his hand again as a ball of fire starts to emerge. Dex, what were you saying?
I want to clumsily stumble back in through the broken window, and just, I'm just gonna drop my sword, like on the ground next to my feet, and I'm going to walk forward, and I'm not yelling this, but I'm saying, you missed the game, Soulfire. No, I'm not opposing you. I'm sorry, I got too much into the act.
You're bred for war, not games.
Actually, I'm bred for gardening, but sure, same thing.
Zed kind of shouts, "They're literally war forged. They only take the most literal meaning." He kind of tugs at Ace and Karen's collars to go back behind the altar.
Oh yeah, no, I'll go.
Yeah. Definitely pulls y'all back behind the altar.
Hey, Dex, this is your show. Do the thing you were gonna do with him.
So, no, Soulfire, I'm not opposing you. I wanted you to be in here so we'd be away from the witch's vision. I feel like if I am going to help you, if they expect nothing, if they are none the wiser, it gives us the advantage. I pulled you in here in service to heaven, not to oppose you.
You swung at me
And I missed, and I meant to miss.
because you are forged for gardening, not
Yes,
for
because I am forged for gardening. I am so inept at combat that I just missed immediately because I
So you
was
can
paid
see-
to be a gardener in heaven.
Do you repent?
I repent to you, good Soulfire. And
We will purge these
I-
lands.
I regale my own deed because indeed I am quite a proficient gardener. People's personal heavens. Tip-top shape because of me.
Unfortunately, you still rang the bell. What do you want?
We will lure the plant beast here to you. And all I wish is that when it arrives, for you to slay it with your righteous flames.
It just stands there.
Is that an acceptable command to you, Soulfire? Is that an acceptable command to you, Sir Soulfire? Signor Inferno.
He doesn't respond. He just stands there.
I have a question. Maybe you can help me out there with this, Dex.
Yeah. What's the question?
The witches are obviously afraid of this guy, whether it's because of the soul fire or for whatever other reason they can't come here. So you could tell him to just continue to defend this place from them, and maybe, possibly, if there's something that, a weakness or anything that he knows of that the witches are afraid of, tell us that. I'm proficient in a lot of things with the arcane, but I don't know exactly how to take on all these witches. I mean, I see he can give and take soul fire, which, by the way, not a witch. Do know some magic stuff, though. If You check this out. So you see just fire start to form in my hand. I mean, is there a way that you can make this better against witches?
When you summon your fire in your hand, the entity snaps its attention over to you for the first time since it was basically awoken. And it yells out, "Witch magic." And it resummons a fireball in its hand. "You will not desecrate the chapel."
No. Entity of Soulfire, I have a command for you. The command for you is share your knowledge with all of us on any weakness that these witches may possess.
It lowers down in front of you, and it lowers its hand holding fire, and it holds the fire in your face, and it says, "Heavenly fire purges the soul."
So, my sword.
It nods.
Great Soulfire, is there anything you can do to reinforce the flames of my blade that can enhance its heavenly flaming potency? You know, I'm just going to pick up the sword. I'm going to hold it hilt out, as unthreatening as possible, for him to hold if he would like to for a moment. I do need this back.
He does not reach out for it. I am perplexed by your question.
Well, see, I forged this blade in the Forge of Heaven from beer cans that I found on this portal plate. It's okay. It's okay. Gabe knows about it. But is there anything you can do to make the heavenly fire of this blade burn brighter?
No.
I see. Well then, you know what, Karen, you're the best with words. You know what? I'm gonna speak Enochian to him when I'm just gonna ask the question. What? You know, let's just say when I asked that question, it was speaking Enochian.
It's same response.
So
He speaks in English.
my
it seems
only
like you
thing
understood me.
is, oh sorry.
No, go ahead.
Here,
Yeah,
Dex,
you go ahead,
what
John.
is
That
the
was
plan?
my
We
bad.
brought him in here. You acted like we were attacking him. Do you just want him to stay in here while we go deal with the witches, so they think we contained him? Because I mean, as soon as he just walks out of here, and we walked out of here, they're gonna know that we didn't fight this guy. So, what's
Holy
the plan?
fire! I wish for you to remain here within the chapel, unless any of these witches steps onto these holy grounds, or the swamp monster steps onto these holy grounds. If neither of those circumstances are met, I wish for you to remain within these walls. Is that a command that you can follow?
I'll be done. And he turns around and faces the door, standing
seems like that's
in the
pretty much
very
the whole-
center of the chapel.
I mean, you could also see if we can teach somebody how to summon holy fire. But I don't think
That
that's
is a great
thing.
idea.
I don't think that's gonna be a thing. He was like, made of fire.
Soulfire. My friend here. Is there any way you could teach him how to conjure heavenly flame?
Heaven.
Yeah, that's about what I thought.
So, okay. So that's not
Let's
something.
not try and push it too much. He's defending the thing. He stays out of sight for the time being. There you go.
Unless y'all have anything else for him, the remainder time, however long y'all spend, he does not move. He just stays right in the center of this chapel.
I assumed as much. Okay. Well, that's all I got, guys.
Well,
So-
here's the question. Before we just start going, what's the plan? Because it seems like the witches are watching us. So we can leave from here and go back to the witches and be like, hey, we couldn't kill him, but we contained him in the church. So I don't know what they've got going on, what we're going to do, because it's not just one witch. It's a lot. So, are we planning on taking on this entire community of witches? The entire coven?
We could entice them. After all, if the entity is contained, then they could summon all of their forces and bring them here for the purpose of fighting this entity. However, perhaps our numbers would be enough to tip the scale in this being's favor. If they bring their entire community here to fight this being, I'm sure he is capable enough to handle at least several of their members. We'd be the number that makes the difference. And if we can entice the beast to come here at the same time,
Right, yeah, the swamp
perhaps he
monster,
can assist
we
the
can
efforts.
go ahead and get him away from the swamp and come across town to the church.
He's a wild card, of course. When we bring him here, he is just as likely to attack us as he is to attack them. However, it could be used in our favor to sow chaos, to sow additional discord, to...
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to just, like, throw a carrot on a stick and get him to chase that all the way out here to the church, man. He's a swamp monster. Pretty sure he's going to stay where he's got his strong suit at, in the swamp.
That is true. However, I could confront this beast once more. If I had the ability to teleport, I shout into the sky.
You had it before, and you got stabbed.
And I could still, in that instance, it would be a risk. I could grab that being and fly him here.
Well, he stabs you.
There's nothing that says that
the
something
entire
has
time.
to be willing to come with me. No, I could be here in an instant.
Okay. You don't even have the ability to teleport, so why were you even trying to make that a plan?
Because maybe I could get that ability back because I'm fighting the enemies of heaven, and it would help me do so. I shout into the sky.
Another lightning bolt cracks and hits the top of the church.
It's like the fifth one we've had in the last hour.
Zed pops his head up. So the lightning.
Yes.
How'd you piss off Gabe? Is
That
why you
is
didn't teleport?
a...
Did he take one of your feathers?
He did. Yes, he did. Dear old Gabe.
Why? Was it like a quid pro quo? You scratch my back, I'd scratch your back kind of thing? Is it like some kind of lesson he's teaching you?
I may not have exposed my wings to mortals.
Yeah. Yeah. It happened to me back in 72.
Yeah, so this is my punishment. I show my wings, and now I can't use them to teleport.
Would it give you like a 3 years? 10 years? 8 years?
He did not say. He didn't say.
Ouch. Could be like a century.
Yeah,
Come on, man. Just go to an apple orchard, man. Just start picking some apples. You'll be good.
I guess I can just walk there
did you-
like everybody else has to do.
Also, like, bring a human to heaven at one point or something?
It was her. I point to Karen.
Never brought me to heaven.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing. It's pretty bad.
So maybe you could talk to dear old Gabe and get my my feather back, so I can defeat an evil swamp monster and Satan worshipping
Take
witches.
my feathers. Just for speaking out of turn. Guy's a dick. Another lightning bolt.
Gabe, buddy, old pal, can I have a word, please? I just say.
I don't think that's gonna make things better. I think that there's a potential of making things worse. If it was me and I had to kind of guess here, going on the situation from what I know of you and what you've told me, he probably wants you to actually prove yourself and show that you're responsible. Not just finding a frustration of some difficulties and then wanting what you already had and lost back for no further reason than anything that you've earned. Or lack thereof.
The entity looks over its shoulder at all of you Are you going to go and get the foul demons to bring them so that I can purge their souls? Or are you just going to stand here and babble?
We will get right on that, good sir. Is there anything that you'd like? Anything I can get for you that I can leave for you while you're here?
Souls of the wicked, so I may purge them with heavenly fire.
Would you like some salt or ketchup to go with that?
It turns back towards the door.
He didn't like my joke. Okay, so let's get going. Go meet. We'll meet with them and tell them that the entity has been, and I do air quotes, contained. I don't know. You guys do the talking. You're better at that. I'd start walking to the car.
Talking to this thing.
Right?
It's
I've
one of
already
those
started walking to the
British
car.
guards. You just stands there now until it's supposed to defend the castle.
It's a Queen's Guard, but okay.
Yeah, there you go. That thing.
When y'all go to walk by it, like I said, the flames of the pyre outside were immense. It was hot, but this thing, it's just warming to be around it. Like, it just fills you with this warmth. Like, especially Karen and Ace, like, you almost feel happy when you're near it. Like, it just has this overwhelming sense of just, I don't know how else to say it, just an inner warmth, a happiness inside of you starts to billow when you get close to it.
I'm a little too curious for my own good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna poke him.
Take one harm, ignore armor.
That's fine. But when I do, I want to use my empath ability.
Doesn't work. There is nothing there.
Fair enough. I just wanted to know.
Yeah, and the tip of your finger is just black. Like, it's an immediate 3rd-degree burn.
Oh,
Yeah, as soon as we're walking...
I'm just gonna...
frostbite.
As we're walking out to the car, I'm gonna go ahead and start casting some magic to try and heal myself.
Okay. I will say it's gonna take you
this
time
might-
to heal it.
That's fine.
I'm just gonna say to him when I'm passing by, like, "Oh, sorry, you go ahead."
No, I'm just saying if it's gonna take a minute. Anyhow, we're probably driving to wherever it is we're going,
Yeah.
I assume, so... I will begin the process of casting a spell to heal it.
And where will that be that y'all are going? Where to?
Well, we got two options. We can either go and talk to the witches, or we can go to the swamp monster thing. I feel the witches might take a bit of precedence. Also, I also feel we might need to notify headquarters to let them know we're going to do the complete opposite of what they sent us out here for.
So if y'all wouldn't mind, I need to step away for a second. I need to refresh on my drink. If y'all want to take 5 and come back, or y'all could stay and discuss a plan or something while I'm gone.
We never have a
That's fine.
plan.
Oh, well, I mean, y'all had a plan, like, at the end of last episode. Well, kind of. The end of the... Yeah. Y'all kind of had a plan. Y'all said y'all were going to hit this thing with a crucifix.
All I'm gonna do when I'm by him, just I feel like you could use a little something to just remind you of home. And I'm gonna take out one of my Enochian gold coins and say, "Would you like this?"
Does not move.
I go to place it on his shoulder, being careful not to actually touch him with my fingers.
It falls right through him.
I go to pick it up, trying not to touch him.
Yeah. It just lands on the floor right beside him. Like, it just falls right through his shoulder.
So you don't want this?
Does not say anything.
Made from the same gold as the streets of gold of heaven.
So Dex kind of gets the feeling that this thing is only interested in one thing, and he will not adjust you further. Unless you bring
I'm just gonna play a little game. I'm just gonna look at him and just say, "Witches."
shall be purged in the holy fire.
I'm gonna look at him and just be like, demons.
Shall be purged in the holy fire.
I'm just gonna look at him and say, bitches.
Does not respond. Okay, I'm stepping away.
Yeah, I'll be right back in a second too.
Yeah, everyone's taking like a good 5-minute break considering it just crashed. What? So 5 or 4-minute break.
Yep. All right.
Hey, y'all back yet?
Yesterday.
Yeah.
I just got back.
Okay. It's like, man, never gonna get back after this break.
Well, here's the thing that I was actually asking. I know we usually wrap up at 10, and it's already 9:30, and we're like just starting off into the next thing. Do you want to go for 30 minutes, or are we at a stopping point? I know we started late. We only started at like 8 o'clock.
Oh, we can go for a little bit longer if y'all want.
Okay.
I'm done.
Maybe another hour or something.
Well, okay. So when we started Monster of the Week, the whole 10 o'clock thing was because Kelly had to get up so early. So I don't know if that's still the thing or not. Because y'all said like she
It
rotates
is.
shifts every now and then.
So, well, I mean, regardless of whether we have work in the morning or not, we have a 1-year-old, so we're getting up at 5 a.m. regardless. So
I don't know if that's something that y'all want to do. If y'all want to stop now so y'all can get to bed a little early, that's perfectly fine.
no, I was just saying 10 o'clock. I like that for being the cutoff time. I just didn't know, since we just kind of hit a transition thing, like if we had 30 minutes to actually get into something, or
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think Monster of the Week. It's not like. I mean, it's not like D&D where
Sure.
it feels that we could literally pause this episode and leave it on a cliffhanger at any point in time.
All right, well, let's just go ahead and roll, man.
Y'all tell me what y'all are doing. Y'all just hopped in the car and took off. Y'all talking about going to several different places.
Well, my thing was just at least reach out to headquarters. At least let them know. That's a you thing there, Karen. You're the team leader.
I'm looking at you like I need to go to bed like 10 minutes ago.
You just said you were good for another half hour. Are you done?
Most part. Very tired.
What we doing here? You gotta let them know, not just me. What we doing here?
I'm good with literally anything.
I'm done. I don't think it'll take 30 minutes.
Alright. I guess we're stopping in here then tonight. But I do
Oh,
feel
really?
like we kind of, well, apparently Kelly's about ready, like, she's having a
Tired.
hard time keeping her eyes open. I do feel like we kind of shortchanged Tony, though, because we got started late.
No, it's perfectly fine, man. I just like hearing your soothing voice, and we've been hearing your voice at 7 o'clock, so it's all gravy.
Right.
I mean, I kind of feel like that too, though. Do we possibly want to try this a little bit tomorrow night too? That's up to you guys, but I'd be
I
okay
can't.
with anything.
Like, my schedule for the next week is slammed. Like, tomorrow night, I have to, as soon as I get off work, I actually have to go see my grandparents and have dinner with them before I leave on my trip. And I gotta take them back to the pressure washer. Thursday night, I gotta do laundry and pack for Saturday. And I won't be back in town until Friday around like 5, 6 o'clock.
Alright, well,
Oh,
tell you what,
okay.
man, do your thing. Obviously, we're not going to try and cram in another session if, it doesn't work for you. But, if you want to try and get something else in, or however you want to do it, man. If we need to try and do another day or something.
I'm cool. We could just sit and chill if y'all want to. I mean, it's cool or whatever. I mean, I kind of like free up my schedule till 10 o'clock on Wednesdays anyways.
Alright, well, let me go ahead and kill the recording.
Yeah.